I was scrolling through r/rollercoasterjerk like any normal coaster enthusiast would do, and I stumbled across a post that was rather interesting. We all know Carowinds, one of the prized possessions of the Cedar Fair chain, and we all know how it goes through the border of North Carolina and the border of South Carolina. Theoretically, per se, if you divided it by the state line in North versus South, who would win in a civil war? Today we will answer just this question and also look at some of the comments on this post. After all, we are in the deepest, darkest corners of the slumps of the internet, so it would be interesting what we could find. One last thing, huge shout out to the original creator, EvoCentury, for letting me use his idea. The original post will be linked in the description so you can see it for yourself. Now let's get on with the video. Obviously, the first thing that comes to your mind would be comparing the lineups, and we will do exactly just that right now. In the north, you have Carolina Gold Rusher, Flying Cobras, Vortex, Ricochet, Carolina Cyclone, Hurler, and of course, Fury 325. And with just that, you don't have much there, a pair of old rough coasters with the Vekoma Boomerang and the Aero Looper. You have a decent set of kiddie coasters, which I do not want to name, and you have a B&M stand-up, Ew. You also have Hurler, which will absolutely toss you around and destroy your soul, but the one good thing that the north has to offer is Fury 325. We all know and love this coaster, it's in the top 5 coasters for anyone who has rode this, and it's rightfully so. However, I hate to point this out, but one of the best elements of Fury 325 is in the south, which is the treble clef turn, so it has to tank some points there. The lineup at the south is a lot more quality over quantity. You have Copperhead Strike, which is probably the headlining attraction on the side. The launch is weak, but the layout is fun, and it's definitely an overall enjoyable coaster. You also have Intimidator, a B&M Hyper. This is one of the worst B&M Hypers, but nevertheless, it offers a good, smooth, fun, airtime-filled ride. The supporting cast is filled with a terrible Nighthawk and an even worse Kitty Hawk. You also have a forceful B&M Invert with Afterburn and a pair of family coasters with Woodstock Express and Wilderness Run. So the north and the south are split at an even 7 coasters on each side. Let's set the battlefield. Fury 325 versus Intimidator, the battle of airtime. Copperhead Strike versus Carolina Cyclone. Is this even a fight? Battle of multi-loopers? Afterburn versus Vortex, the battle of the B&M loopers. Hurler versus Woodstock Express, the battle of the Woodies. Nighthawk versus Flying Cobra, the battle of the worst coaster in the park. Carolina Gold Rusher versus Kitty Hawk, the battle of the family coasters. Ricochet versus Wilderness Run, battle of the leftover coasters that were included before basically the medkit of the team. May the odds be ever in your favor, best out of 7. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Tidal Wave Bay versus Surf Club Harbor. 2 wave pools, each making its own mark. I have no idea which one is better. I've never been to Carowinds nor care about the water park. Fighting to death, who will win? I think it's a tie, I have no idea. Anyways, for the first matchup we have Fury 325 versus Intimidator. Is this even a question? I don't think any soul being on the entire earth would take a bottom tier hyper over an elite Giga. You must have 24 different Brainless Warriors to be that stupid. Even with Fury 325's treble clef turn supporting the south side and most of the airtime moments, the Q station, lift hill, and especially first drop gives Fury 325 the win and the first point for the north. Score after the first battle, North 1, South 0. Next up is the battle of the multi-loopers, Copperhead Strike versus Carolina Cyclone. You have a favorite of the general public, Copperhead Strike, versus an old Aero Looper, which is certain to be rough. Who will win? The coaster with a budget of $2 million, or coaster with 13 times its budget, inflation not included? I think there's a clear winner. Even though I could recreate the mock launch in my car, I don't think Copperhead Strike will lose to any Aero Looper on the planet. That's my opinion. Score after the battle of the multi-loopers, North 1, South 1. Now for the battle of the B&M multi-loopers. A B&M invert versus a B&M standing coaster. Do I really need to say more? God, if you put Silver Bullet versus Riddler's Revenge, the worst invert versus the best standing coaster, I will still choose Silver Bullet, the B&M invert, every single day of the week. There's just no competition. Another point for the south. The score now, North 1, South 2. The battle of the Woodies, Hurler versus Woodstock Express. One of the worst coasters in the world versus a kiddie coaster. Who will win? As Broadway Cat Dad said, Hurler will kick your ass. Or just delete the your part. Hurler will kick ass. And it will lure you into a false sense of riding a good coaster. And, well, I can't hear you after the concussion it gave me! So yeah, Hurler wins, and it kicks ass. The standing after the battle of the Woodies, North 2, South 2. The front lines, 2 coasters, fighting it to the death to secure their team a point. Nighthawk versus the Flying Cobras. Who will win? Both are rough pieces of garbage that will toss you around and destroy your body to the soul until you are left with no resemblance of a human being. Sorry, I think I'm describing Hurler right now. Anyways, I'll take any sort of flying coaster over a Vekoma Boomerang without any second thoughts. Even though Nighthawk is rough, it does pull good forces and offers a good ride for some, while a Vekoma Boomerang is just an equivalent of a kiddie coaster, it just exists for the +1. Nighthawk wins the battle of the worst coaster. Oh, I guess it loses because Flying Cobras is worse. Oh god, this community. Nighthawk is better, so it loses the battle, but gains a point for the south. Okay. Current standings, North 2, South 3. God, how is the North actually losing right now? Now for the final battle, the battle of leftover kiddie coasters. Ricochet, the Mock Wild Mouse, versus Wilderness Run, an E&F Miler kiddie coaster. God, is this even a matchup? This is even worse than Fury versus Intimidator. There is no competition here. Why would anyone in the right mind think a Wild Mouse is better than an E&F Miler kiddie coaster? Oops, it's the other way around. It's too late for me to writing the script. Anyways, due to clear circumstances, Ricochet wins the battle of leftover coasters and wins the North 8 point. Wait, so now what? The score is tied 3-3 and there's nothing left. How should we break this tie? Damn, he has a point there. The Wave Pools, Tidal Wave Bay versus Surf Club Harbor. Fight to the death, which one is better? Winner takes all. Truly to decide if the north or south side of Carowinds is better. God, I'm just kidding, that would be pathetic if you break a tie this way. The south side has quality over quantity, and part of Fury 325, so it wins. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. You know how I said that we would start with the lineups? That statement kind of implied we were going to go through other aspects of the park. Well, I lied, so sucks to suck, I guess. The South clearly wins, but before we end the video, let's just take a minute to breathe in the dumbass people on Reddit who are staging an actual battle through Carowinds. God, people are stupid. That's all for today's video, guys. As always, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.